Love for classic cars is an American tradition, handed down through generations of car enthusiasts and collectors. But what is it about the white-walled tires, tail fins, and chrome engines that defines a car of a particular era as classic? For Ken Jelly, a Delphi retiree with a taste for Corvettes, the answer lies with his 1964 Corvette, his first of 25.
It was the only car I owned for many years. Brought one of my kids home from the hospital in it. It just was a daily driver, but it's became more and more value through the time.
Jelly is in the process of restoring the Corvette that cost him $3,400 in 1965 and will be worth an estimated $50,000 when fully restored. Jelly has collected and sold a variety of classic cars through the years and says determining the next generation of classic cars is a hot topic among enthusiasts. He says his most recent purchase, a 2010 Z06 Corvette, will likely increase in value due to its rarity. Only 500 like it were made.
And in that 500, I believe there was maybe 100 made in red. So the numbers keep coming down on the rareness of it.
In addition to rarity, Jelly says it's nostalgia that ultimately determines whether or not a car is a classic. And it's that nostalgia that the big three automakers have been tapping into while designing their modern muscle cars.
They've tried to capture the new Camaro to look like a very sought-after '69 Camaro. The new Dodge Challenger looked like the old Challenger of the '70s. Mustang has done a great job recreating the nostalgia look of the early Mustangs.
I think that was kind of the first car that really said, hey, we're going to, the company said, we're going to pull everything we had from, the 70s and, and back and bring it forward and make something new.
Steve Rotuno, sales consultant at Greenwood Chevrolet in Hubbard, credits the 1999 Ford Mustang for leading the charge of the latest incarnation of high-performance vehicles. Taking styling cues from the late 1960s for its Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, Rotuno says GM was able to attract buyers of that era who either didn't have the money to buy the car they desired or, worse, had to sell it.
So if you look at the styling of the vehicle from the front to the back, you're going to notice there's a lot of nostalgia in there. And that buyer that had that car back in the 60s and 70s, he kind of fell in love again. He says, hey, I want that. And those are those buyers coming forward. Those are the people that you're going to see buy that car now and hand it down to their kids.
With updated versions of the Camaro, Mustang, and Dodge Charger on the road, Rotuno says manufacturers are once again embracing the muscle cars that were lost in the late 1970s and 80s because of environmental regulations limiting emissions and improving safety. And while consumers continue to demand better gas mileage from their vehicles, Rotuno's confident there will still be a market for the high-performance cars people flock to look at every summer. He just hopes the resurgence of these cars is still going strong years from now for the younger buyers of today who can't afford the $55,000 price tag of the 2013 ZL1.
To have that extra toy is a little bit harder nowadays, but hopefully in the future, the manufacturers will make these cars a little bit more retro, like the people had, our parents, our grandparents had when they were younger. But let's hope to God that we never have to worry about an electric Camaro or electric Corvette. I just couldn't handle that.
Read more on the future collectible cars in the mid-November edition of the Business Journal. For the Daily Buzz, I'm Jeremy Leidick.